Hello, welcome back to school. Somebody had asked, how do you learn to sight read chords? And the best way I could think of is to read chords. And the number one source where you're going to find chords is pretty much any church or religious songbook or hymn book. Most of them are written like this. They will have the text between the two lines of music with the alto and soprano voice on the treble clef and the bass and tenor in the bass clef. And and you basically just read through it. Hymn books can also be great for harmonic analysis and transposition and learning about voice leading and things like that. In addition to multiple harmonic lines, you may also find hymn books where you just have the text and only the melody without the chord symbols. This is a bit more advanced, but if you want to explore with improvising your own chords or trying to lay out chords that would line up with the melody, that would be a good use for something like this. Now, to actually read through a line of music with harmony, you have to have a couple things really, really good. You have to understand a little bit about harmonic progressions, harmony in general in the vertical sense. You also have to understand intervals, not only at the horizontal from note to note on like the soprano line, but you have to understand the intervals between each beat, or even a part of a beat in this case, from the alto voice to the soprano voice. Example, if we were to look at this first beat going into the second beat, we could see that the alto voice, let me zoom in on this to make it easier. First, we need to establish the key. The key is in G minor, and the reason I know that is because I know my key signatures, and also the notation has leading tones. Right there in the soprano voice, that F sharp or Fi is the leading tone of Sol or G minor. On top of that, you could check down at the last chord of the piece, and lo and behold, it ends on a 5-1, with your 1 being on G. This is not always the case, but most likely you could do that if you are still learning your key signatures. But definitely, you know your leading tones and various degrees of the scales. It will save a lot of time when reading through music and determining, is it major, minor, is it in a mode, etc. Okay, so we have the key established. This is in G minor or Sol minor. If you are just beginning, I would recommend starting with 2 voices. Even prerequisites is to do lots of single line melodic reading, like oops, that's just a bunch of text. Like something like this. Just find single line music. There's lots of sources online, and just practice reading through them. So, I use solfege, the fixed do with the alterations, but whatever floats your boat, find a system, stick to it, and use it. Once you are really good at reading single line music, you want to advance to double lined music, or 2 voices on one staff. And then after that, you want to add a 3rd voice and then a 4th voice. Side references, I guess I could recommend. If you can read through single line music, take up the Inventions, which are the 2-part, and the Sinfonias of Bach, which are the 3-part, if memory serves me correctly. Read through those. Don't read through them at the piano, but actually read through them using solfege. You can read through each line and then try to put them together, as I'm about to show you here. So, in this case, we're only going to use the alto and soprano voice. This is pretty advanced stuff, so I don't do this, so this is not my forte, so please be gentle. So first, we have the key. It's in Sol minor. We can see, okay, we have the tonic in the bass, and then we have the 3rd degree and the 5th degree in the soprano. So first you want to do like a tonicization. So that'd be like sol ti, thank you. Sol fa sol fi sol la sol la te do re do te la sol. And then you could do the arpeggiation. Sol te re te sol fi sol. And you could say, okay, well, this starts on a te and a re. So you could sing sol and then sol te re. There's your first note. Now, to read from the soprano voice to the alto voice, you have to see, oh, well, the alto voice is on the same pitch as the soprano voice, so you don't have to really move. Te, re, te, and then you have to find your sol. Re, re, me, fa, sol, sol, re, sol. Re, sol, re, sol, re, mi. And I'm just reading through the notes as here, and I'm having to think, okay, if this is on sol, sol, re, I need to jump down to the alto voice, and then I need to be able to hear sol, fi, or better yet, sol, re, fi, to get from the alto voice or the soprano voice to the alto voice, then back up to the soprano voice. So you're basically reading up from the lowest note. When you're done with that chord, you go to the next chord, read up from the lowest note. And obviously, if you have more voices, it's going to be more trickier. You do have to transpose. If you're a tenor or bass, you have to transpose the soprano and alto voices accordingly within your vocal range. So you have to be able to transpose within the octave by looking at the notes and then singing them in the correct octave while still maintaining the pitches that you can sing in the regular octaves. And obviously, if you're a soprano or alto, you need to transpose the bass notes and tenor notes that are outside your vocal range. More than likely, I would obviously have to transpose all the bass notes. Well, maybe not all of them, because I could sing that note, the fi. Oh, that is not a fi, that is a re. But yeah, so that would be my recommendation. You could also, to get used to just reading the staff, like instead of actually singing through it, because that's actually really difficult, is to just read through the notes. So this, if I were to read through the first, or this down, the upbeat, and then reading these two eighth notes, and then reading this crotchet, this would be, I'm going to make this really big so I can give myself every chance of success here. Sol, sol, fi, or sol, sol, si. C would be the original, but te, re would be that beat. And then this next beat, oh, I just lost my bass clef. Here it is. This would be T, te. I'm not very fluent at this. Te, sol, re, sol. Te, sol, re, sol. And then here would be la, la, re, fi. And that would be kind of how that would work. Obviously, I'm jumping from one line to the other, so I don't have the quickness and all that stuff. But there is a channel on YouTube where the guy is extremely good at this. Like, he can read in any clef, and he just goes through and he just reads through music. He reads through harmonic music and polyphonic music, and it's very, very fascinating what he does. I will, if I can find his channel, I'll post it down below. But in short, using hymn books like this, even if it's single-lined music, you could still benefit, and just open it up and just practice reading through the solfege. And gradually, as you get good at reading the solfege, your reading at the piano will actually get better. Of course, this is all based on speculation, as none of this has officially been tried out by me, because I can't read the notes. But this is all going on theory, speculation type stuff, things that I've seen other people do, and kind of, okay, that makes sense. But definitely being able to read the notes. You have to know the notes really, really well in order to read harmonic music, chords, things like that really well. I do have some other like piano technique books that have chords in them. I will, I was going to say, my piano library is huge. So I could go through the technique books that I could find in there. I know Liszt has a bunch of stuff in his. There's some general reference books, like the Boris Berlin has chords in there, just being able to just play through those. That would probably be another option. But eventually, yeah, I'll go through my other library books and, just kind of see what's all in there and show you guys and see, what I have in the sense of other music books. But someone had not recommended, but they had said something about how they sing in a choir. It's like, oh yeah, I sing in choirs too. Not because I have a fantastic voice, but primarily for music learning. If you sing like a inner voice, like the alto or tenor voice, your inner hearing of chords will be really, really good whether than just singing the soprano or alto or soprano or bass line, because usually there you just get the melody and the bass usually is 1-5-1, not always, but in general. But then again, sometimes you get those static alto notes where they're all just on res all the time and you really don't move anywhere except for at the end. But yeah, I'm hoping to go through some of that stuff and show you guys and recommend stuff and go through musical memories, I guess. But yeah, in short, as far as playing chords, learning to read chords, hymn books are probably the best resource that I can think on. I'd heard somewhere that if you can read hymns really well, you can read pretty much anything. So hymn books are great for transposition and, harmonic analysis and things like that. Oral skills, ear training, have someone plunk out the alto line, write it out. Have someone plunk out the alto and the soprano line, write it out. So great things like that. And then, of course, like if you got a single line music, you can practice not only melodic dictation with it, but you could also try to come up with chords that would harmoniously agree with the melody. That's a good sense of oral training as well. Okay, other than that, I really don't have any resources, but hymn books probably the best, and whatever chord type stuff you could find. And I should note that this is not reading off chord symbols, but this is actually reading chords written out in music notation. Reading chord symbols is a whole nother beast, and we could probably step on that a little bit later. But in general, reading chords, like reading actual chords spelt out, written out in the music hymn books, are probably the best way to go about it. If you want to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell for all notifications.